Obviously, judging from the deaths, the wars, the hideous cruelty towards me, and the injuries inflicted, and what it says about the cult behind the murder of bystanders and the exempling of other victims. It's dangerous to expose the occult thinkers at the heart of Western media. People like Tam DeJong and Brian Eno bring to the table a warpath from Jeffin labels that I call the Obama Road. One of its crimes was the AIDS attack. I was positioned in 1984 at a medical library with a gang who were behind Reagan's Federal Emergency Management Agency at a place called Pitt. First of all, I thought a responsible attitude about the discovery, which was staged and phony, by the way, but the claim of discovery of a script by Gail Burston in my possession, unbeknownst to me, evidence of this warpath. On the part of Jesse Jackson, for example, would have been to say we need to put aside catcalls and unforgiving attitudes about sex and protect the at risk and get social distancing started among the culture most at risk, which was Seattle bathhouse gay communities. Instead, Jeffin came barking, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Gweener's pet attorney was summoned to say things in encryptions that were creepy. It must be the treason of succulent machines. And you're supposed to read their lips about what that means on the psychological dimension. And they contracted attack prostitutes. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. One size fits all. Meanwhile, they were blowing on the flames. Horses, when spooked by a fire, tend to stampede back into the burning barn, which was one of the images in the script. And that's what happened in San Francisco. Because of all of the stigma, they said, fuck you. And they went into a siege mentality. Now, these occult people claim they were just stupid. That failure to warn didn't cost lives. They were cunning. They knew this was going to happen. And they overrode it with the famous dollar sign. Somebody's going to get the money from the Martin Sheen discovery. It's what they lisp. It's all about John Lennon. And what did they play like? Because they played captain of the ship. They said it was all make pretend, all of it. It was all a double fantasy, a malicious and sadistic joke. Mount Desert Island was an experience park, said jump down home penis Gabriel. And this experience park burned down a $10 million laboratory, ended up ripper murdering Shannon Harps, blew up the USS Iowa. It was all a theme park by Diamond DeGaulis and the anthrax people from 911. It was all imaginary. And it wasn't protesting AIDS, it was helping. They weren't laughing at you, they were laughing with you. Zell said, what would you think of a scheme to transform the human race by injecting the blood when AIDS was unknown or just getting started? In the presence of a campus where people who attended in upper class with him were named in the script from 1974. And then he ran the experience park. And that was before they claimed the staged phony discovery. He said that long before they claimed the staged and phony discovery. So it's all one continuum from the 70s. It goes back further. It's a screenplay that has elements in this overall tapestry of D.W. Griffith's cohorts in Hollywood Axis cinema. So Penis Gabriel said, the reason we're threatening Queerbait with AIDS is because he could have saved John Lennon. That's the punishment. From who? From a person who you're supposed to trust, who was never arrested, who appears on one of their records a year before in likeness. John Lennon pulled his Houdini. And his wife, Gweener, has a poison tith wheel, all spelled out. Poison and tith. We will poison them, she said. Then we will put Queerbait's name on it and say that he must live in poverty or be inflicted with AIDS, while somebody, namely Martin Sheen, makes off with the gravy train. Well, I have a right to be paid for my work and injuries. That's perfectly clear. But it's not my priority. I'm not going to feed into the wheel of Africa's ruthlessness in this matter. That's out of the question. I have research papers that I'm working on, investigation concerns, prosecution aspirations. That's my priority. The rest of it is not my precinct. I've functioned intelligently and humanely on behalf of my peers, every single one of whom has been warned by me for decades and never lifted a finger to guarantee my dignities. All they've done is make a humiliating spectacle of someone who they lied to and victimized horrendously. Penis Gabriel is a bizarre sociopath, a monkey typing Shakespeare. He doesn't care that he doesn't make any sense. He's a conflict zone of the arts. He creates contradictions and spews them for creative tension. A monkey typing Shakespeare. There's no brute sincerity in any of his jive. He's a liar, a pathological liar on a warpath with Netanyahu.